Welcome to Innovation Network of Asia 2019. A bit of introduction. I am Iwan Setiawan. I'm the CEO of Mark Plus Inc. And I'm also the program director for today's event and also for tomorrow. This is the VIP room, and this is also the room where we will have the INA Forum 2019. We have 7 breakout sessions throughout the event, and this is the only English-speaking room, English-speaking sessions available. So if you go to another room next door or the next, there won't be any English session, and the translation service is unavailable as well. So you better stay here because this is going to be English-speaking sessions all the way, and all the best speakers are here anyway. So you don't need to find other room breakout sessions to attend. The translation services will again be available during the plenary session starting at 3 p.m. Today. When we have another big session like this morning, we will have translation services available again for all the foreign guests today and also tomorrow. So a bit of introduction of Innovation Network of Asia 2019. Any one of you here first timer? Okay, so a lot of first timers. We begin in 2010, so it's been a while. It's almost 10 years now. In 2010, we brought what's known as the Kellogg Innovation Network. I was a student there 2009, 2010, and I met a professor of mine at the Kellogg School of Management, Robert Walcott. And Rob Walcott introduced me to Kellogg Innovation Network Global. And I talked to them, and we decided to bring the Kin brand to Southeast Asia, Indonesia, in Jakarta. And we established the first Kin ASEAN Forum in 2010. And then we conducted the events every single year since. And since last year, we changed the name because Kellogg asked Robert Walcott not to use the Kellogg brand anymore because they have another event called the Kellogg Growth Forum, and they don't want to create a conflict. So Rob Walcott changes the name into TWIN, the World Innovation Network, and we change into INA, or Innovation Network of Asia. This is a subset of TWIN Global, and we are the only one in Southeast Asia to have the franchise of the TWIN Global from the headquarters in Chicago. So today we will have a diverse range of speakers, as always, in Kin or INA. And I will show you just a bit of introduction to who we'll be listening to throughout our event today. So our general topic today will be what's next. This is a very visionary view of the future, and we'd like to understand across diverse range of topic and themes, we will understand what will happen next to our future. Industry, in certain technology, in certain capabilities, we want to understand more about what will happen. And so we will have a group of speakers that are visionary, that have their own opinion and their own vision on what the future look like. But before we begin, I would like to set up the event by telling you a story of 5 generations that are living together on Earth today. We have the baby boomers, which is until recently are the biggest and the most powerful part of the workforce globally, not only in the US and the West, but also in Asia. And then we have a younger one, Gen X, and of course the most famous one, the Gen Y or millennials. These are the most famous generations living today on Earth. And then we have the younger ones, Gen Z, and we have the children. The youngest one, it's called Gen Alpha. And We've been talking about the evolution of business, and business has always been evolving throughout the decades by adapting to who they serve. And in the beginning, business or marketing field focuses primarily on serving the baby boomers. They're wealthy, they have good amount of assets, and they're pretty idealistic. And therefore, we have what we call the product-centric era, whereby we sell products and services to the baby boomers. But again, the Gen X, or the MTV generation, this is the most forgotten one, because we talk a lot about baby boomers, we talk a lot about Gen Y, we sometimes forgot with the generation in the middle, it's called Gen X, and these generation are the only generation living today that has the experience of different generations of technology in their lives. They know from CD, DVD, MP3, music streaming, they know all kinds of technology since childhood all the way to adulthood. So they are the most adaptive generation living today. And of course, we have the famous one, the Gen Y. They always ask why, and why, because they always question everything. They think change is permanent, and they want to keep on changing the world. And of course, our next generations that we will serve in the future will be the Gen Z and the Gen Alpha. Today, Gen Z, some of them are old, and they're entering the workforce as we speak right now. And in 2025, they will be the largest generation in the workforce. And of course, the Gen Alpha, the oldest Gen Alpha today is only 8 years old, but there will be the future market today. And I'm going to talk a bit about the Gen Z and the Gen Alpha. And these two generations are generations that will change the world because they have two trajectories. We'll talk a lot more about this as we go on in the next couple of days. First of all, the Gen Z and Gen Alpha, they adapt technology easily because they love technology. And those two generations are called digital natives because they were born after the popularity of internet. So they have never known world without internet. And therefore, they see digital technology that we often struggle with as an essential part of their daily lives, and they don't really bother, they're not really bothered by the complexity of technology. They think it's a very, very simple part of their life. And not only that, they're also more pragmatic in a way. They're also idealistic, but in a way pragmatic. They want to understand the world and they want to change it into a better world. And therefore, not only they adopt technology, they also want to make change. They want to create change that will help humanity. So there's a two element of trajectory in these two generations: technology advancement and human centricity. And because of that, in 2010, we published a book called Marketing 3.0. Philip Kotler, Herman Karzajai, and myself. And we talk a lot about human-centric marketing. We talk about human centricity in business. And in 2017, we talk a lot about technology advancement in our sequel, which is Marketing 4.0. And next year, we will have Marketing 5.0, which completes the entire cycle of this trilogy. And Marketing 5.0 is actually the combination or the blend between 3.0 and 4.0, because the Generation Z and Alpha, the dominant generation of the future, will care only about these two things. So we need to marry these two things, technology advancement and human centricity, in a simpler word. It's called technology for humanity. And around this theme, we will have some speakers talking about different subtopic of technology for humanity. We will start by looking at human experience. This is an evolution of customer experience. This is beyond customer experience or beyond CX. And we will talk about this together, and we'll discuss this more with Henry. Henry is the chairman of Potentiate in Malaysia, and also a founder of a very interesting company called Ferroglyph. I will let him explain to you all what he does in those companies. We'll also talk about the future of travel. Of course, the younger generation love to travel, and I have the perfect person to talk about this, Fico Gara, who is a former VP of Airy Rooms, part of Traveloka, and he's now venturing into an unknown space of the future of travel. So we'll talk about more on that in his session. We'll also talk about virtual reality tomorrow with Dylan Seo. Is Dylan here? Dylan, welcome. Dylan is the co-founder of a very renowned technology company called the Oculus. The Oculus is, of course, the pioneer in virtual reality, and he'll talk about the future of virtual reality, how we can implement them for business world and also the world in general. We'll also talk about growth, and we've talked about growth. The future growth will never miss China, because China is, of course, the place where people look for growth. And for this topic, we will talk about growth in China and the rise of Chief Growth Officer. And Tiger Chow from Kotler Marketing Group China will talk about this as well today. And at the end of today's session, we will have a very interesting topic also, very rising topic in the last few years, circular economy, whereby we will try to avoid waste as much as possible. We don't throw away anything, and we'll try to recycle and use as much resources as we can, and always complete a circle or circle of asset or resources utilizations. And we'll talk more about that, which is pretty much human-centric as a topic. Tomorrow we'll talk about children connectivity. I will invite a new acquaintance from Hong Kong, Javed, who is the co-founder of Mommy, Daddy, and Me, which is like a Facebook but for children. And that's a very interesting topic. How do you create a social network that blends education with entertainment for children? Since we're going to talk a lot about Gen Alpha, we'll talk a lot about children as well. And to talk more about the youth, or the Gen Z, we'll talk more on the youth empowerment side from Sri Lanka point of view. A member of the parliament of Sri Lanka will be here tomorrow. Namal Rajapaksa will be here with us and talk about how he empowered youth in his home country, Sri Lanka. And of course, as the final session tomorrow, we'll talk about empowerment, specifically in business, how we generate entrepreneurship, how we build new entrepreneurs, not only outside of the company, but also internally in our company. So we'll talk a lot more about these topics in the next couple of days. I'm not going to talk more. And to start with today's session, I would like to invite Henry to come on stage. Please play the profile for Henry, and please enjoy his session. Thank you so much.